How y'all doing? It's good to see some of the family home too. I'm looking around. Good to see you home. So today we're going to talk about, well, we're not going to, but I'm going to give a message about, I just have to watch things, you know. The golden idea. Have you ever had a golden idea? I bet you've had many of them. Who's had a golden idea, not afraid to raise it? Yeah, of course. We're looking at what is a golden idea. And this is all about prosperity. And it's interesting, I did a little poll. It's not really, statistically going to be that, provable. But there's this thing about prosperity and abundance. They're pretty related to some degree. But what I have noticed is that I asked a few people, we're thinking of doing prosperity or abundance. Which would you choose? And they all said what? Prosperity. They said abundance. It's nice to know I'm still got a little bit of control here of this room. But here's the deal. I want to say it again. Prosperity, abundance. And the reason I asked them, I said, well, what is it? And they said, well, prosperity kind of reminds me of like money. But they said it like that, money. And so I said, so we're going to definitely talk about prosperity. Because I don't know about any of you, I don't know how you were raised, but we have dozens of messages running through us in this very moment about money. It has been given so much power. And I'm thinking the only way it has power is the power I give it. It's the power I give it. Yeah, we have a world that deals in that, but I wanted to take a really good visceral look at this thing called money. And I love it from Hello, Dolly. It's one of my favorite. I mean, yes, I do like musicals. I know a lot of the musicals. I lived in Los Angeles. It says, money, this is Dolly Levi. I won't do her accent. Money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless you spread it around, encouraging young things to grow. Wow. All this time, I mean, who thought that you could bring in manure and it be a part of your spiritual message for the day, right? I love that idea because that's what it does, right? You got your garden and you're putting all this and you're cultivating it and nurturing it, right? And so when you think of the garden of our minds and what are we doing with that? How are we nurturing that? How are we growing things? And it says young things. And she's referring to like young people, but I'm referring it to the beginning of a seed. A seed, a young thing that everything's contained. Did you know that? Everything's contained in that seed. And you're looking at it and you're going, that would be impossible. All of that is in here, and that's how I look at us. We're this incredible seed of potentiality and unlimited potential. And we're this seed that's getting ready to just bloom. Anybody else want to bloom today? Yeah. I'm into blooming. Messages. I remember, I'll share a few of my messages, and as I speak, I want you to just think of your own as you go along, messages about money. I didn't come from a whole lot of money, as they say, but that's not the point. The point is, what was the messages? And the first message was, I used to love to save money. I had a little red bank to start out with. Then my bank started getting bigger. And I loved to save money so I could save it up for Christmas so I could buy gifts, especially for my mom. And I was going to make up for the whole family dichotomy. I was going to save all this money. So I didn't want to save it because I wanted to hold it. I wanted to save it so I could grow it. And then my dad, being the great guy that he was, he had lots to say about saving money. Boy, look at our little stingy guy here. He's got all of his money in the bank. Ooh, And I just said, at age 5, you jealous? No, I didn't say that. You jealous? No, but that's that whole idea. So there was a message that went in my mind that said, saving is bad. There's something not good about saving. That means you're taking away from something. And so is this I'll get the violin, poor story? No, it's saying that we are filled with messages. We are filled with them about what is. I would see my friends and they had this, right? And then you didn't have that and this and that. And you're just like sitting there going, what is money all about? So I believe that you develop a relationship with it. And there is not one bit of money out there or things that happened for me that wasn't built first by an idea. Would you agree with that? That ideas are what birth this thing called, whatever it is that brings in this thing called cash. But it's interesting. Even at this age of 49, I think to myself, wow. I don't know what you see, but when I look in the mirror, I know what I see. I see prosperity is what I see. But it's taken me a long time to really address it. You know what I'm talking about. Because, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you. Here's the deal. I'm thinking to myself, we were very secretive about money. My mother, how much do you make at work? Honey, just so you'll know, as you grow up, you don't ask people that. You don't ask them what kind of, anybody else? Did anybody else have that? You don't ask people how much they make yeah. And I would be, and then I found out later why. Because she was a woman working in the work field in the 50s and 60s, and she wasn't making very much. So there was an attachment to shame. So I never did that either about money. I didn't want anybody to know. And the more I would make, or the more I would feel almost like guilty about it. Do you know what I mean? It was like somebody, I always remember here, about housing. We had this like villa-style house on Kahana. It was kind of Rita and I's first kind of upgrade, if you've ever been, yeah. And so you walk in, I remember when we first walked in, I went, oh my God. Just like a little boy, right? I'm not in the trailer park anymore, am I, Rita? This is a whole different, I was like this awestruck, and I said, oh, that's too much, we can't do that. And then Rita, with her infinite knowledge, said, oh, but we must. We must. And because you go out of your comfort zone when you're having a relationship, look at the relationships we have with one another. You don't start out just going, oh yeah, no problem. You start out kind of courting, kind of getting to know one another. See if you want to hang around for another 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Do we not do that? So we're investing as we go along. But I remember that moment of, here's what's great about the energy of money. There's shame if you don't have it for whatever reason. And then there's shame if you do. I'm so confused. So there's this idea, I read this great book, I really suggest it was suggested to us, it's called The Creative Act, and A Way of Being. It's by Rick Rubin. I don't know if anybody has read it, but it was turned on to us, and then Rita didn't want to pack herself down, so she left it, and I found this very exciting thing that everything, prosperity always starts with an idea. If you have an idea you're excited about, this is so great, and you don't bring it to life, it's not uncommon for the idea to find its voice through another maker. Yeah, I see some heads going up. I'll say it again. If you have an idea and you're excited about it and you don't bring it to life, it's not uncommon that the idea to find its voice through another maker. This isn't because the other artist stole it. Remember how it is? That was my idea. Stole your idea. It's because the idea's time had come. Oh my God, my whole head just went, wow. Because I had somebody that I knew that they had this music, and they're kind of a perfectionist, and they just said, no, it's not ready yet, it's not ready yet, it's not ready yet. When Rita and I used to do shows, cabarets, we'd say, Okay, when? June 5th at the Gardenia Room in Los Angeles. And then they go, oh, you've got your show together, and haven't even started. But there's an idea that's going to be birthed by that date being there because we know it has to come. It goes on to say, in this great unfolding, ideas and thoughts, themes and songs and other works of art exist in the ether, and they ripen on schedule, ready to find expression in the physical world. Can you imagine a garden? Now, I'm not a gardener, but bear with me. There's a garden, you plant the seeds and they start coming up. And then you go, oh, I'm going to go to Italy for a month and a half, so can you guys just hold tight till we get back? Don't grow, don't do anything, we're going to be right back. It says, no, man, our time has come. We got to grow and we got to ripen. As artists, he calls us artists. He believes we're all artists, and I believe we are too. Every single moment that every day we wake up, we are painting our lives. We are singing our lives. We are writing our lives right through our wonderful mental faculty. Are you excited? Yes. I'm excited. I know you find that hard to believe. It says, as artists, it is our job. Now really, let's gear in for this one. As artists, it is our job to draw down the information, transmute it, and you're going to love this, and share it. And share it. We are all, this is the end of his, thank you, Rick Rubin. We are all translators for messages the universe is broadcasting. Ooh, let's say that again. We are all translators for messages the universe is broadcasting. There is nothing that we could have to know, not an answer that cannot be solved. There's not a healing that cannot take place if we allow that broadcasting system to run through us as us. Can you imagine? This is how, except then something happens. I don't want to be, Debbie Downer on this one. But then what happens is we have mixed messages when we're going after. It's just not prosperity, it's anything. You know what mixed messages are, right? Yeah. That's why mantra, she goes, yeah, I do. Here's the thing about mixed messages. A lot of people think it's, I am wealthy, 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 I am wealthy. No, there's words coming out. I am wealthy. I said it 600 times, Patrick, nothing. Not one thing happened. Okay. I am healthy, I am healthy, I am healthy. The doctor said I wasn't, but I am healthy, I am healthy. Oh, but the book told me, oh, I am healthy, I am healthy. Call it short circuit, right? They call it chaotic vibration frequency. Haven't you ever done that? We all think that we're forgetting names. It doesn't matter our age. Oh, you're short-circuiting. We're short-circuiting because when we're in the moment, it is absolutely impossible to short-circuit. I ran across this gentleman, not personally, but, on that frequency, that transmuter called YouTube. And his name is James Tallarico, I think his name is. He's a legislature. He's in legislature. Shouldn't. And this is what, I hope I remember it because I didn't bring it because I wasn't, but I knew, since you don't bring it, you knew it was going to come up. So I'm going to just channel back to him. And he was talking about when he's in legislature and they're putting together bills, he's the state of Texas. And he said there's a lot of things going on. This gentleman is brilliant. I have passed him on. I hardly ever do that with stuff. But he was worth it because you know what I loved about him? He was eloquent. He was sure of himself, not cocky sure of himself. He knew where he stood. He knew where he would be willing to go. He knew he had boundaries. He knew that he could debate with you without screaming at you. He knew that he did not have to be right. He knew that it could be win-win, not win-lose, or I'm going to win, you're going to lose. And he talked about when his team, and we're a team. We are a team here. Even if it's your first day, we are a team here. I don't care when you come and when, but we are a team. And he said, this is what we do, and I just know I'm going to remember. I'm stalling, aren't I? No. So this is what he said. My team and I get together, and we go like this. We take a deep breath when they don't get their bill passed. Or there's the big one that they're having right now, I'm not afraid of that. The one that he was talking about was the 10 Commandments being in the schools. And he does not agree with that. He believes that we must honor all of the faiths in the schools. You can't honor one without the other. So that's what he's doing. So he's saying, this is what we do. When it doesn't come through, and there's a lot of people yelling at us, he said, when we get horrible mail, we get horrible conversations, and we get name calling, what I do is, first of all, we all gather together, and we breathe. We breathe together through all of the stuff that we're feeling. We breathe. And then as we breathe, we feel all the feelings that we have. The unfairness. They don't like me. I'm not enough. I didn't do it. Why in the hell didn't that bill pass? It should have passed. And then they get mad and they can scream and they can go, yeah! And then they breathe again. All right, that felt good. Didn't pass. And I'm pissed. But that's okay, because this is what their next one is, and this is the one that hit me. It said, and then we refuse. We refuse to pass it on. We refuse to take this energy of anger and project it upon you. And you might just be a complete person who just happened to walk across my projection. Have you ever been there? You might have just been the person that just happened to be in the way of me projecting. Right? I've been there. And so what it did for me was, it didn't immediately make me walk on water. But what I did realize is that I don't want to pass on my pain to anyone. Because first of all, you deserve better than that. We all deserve better than that. So I'm not going to pass that on, and it takes work. So this gentleman, can you imagine being in politics? He said he either wanted to be a minister or politics. And he said, figure that one out. But what his thing was that I really loved is that he said, I come from love. And that's not really heard of in the politics and all of the things. He said, but I'm going to tell you something. It works really well for me. And it works well for my team. So he has an idea, and then he bursts it. It reminded me of remember, speaking of golden idea, remember the golden goose? You know, that laid the gold eggs? Wouldn't you like to have that? I've got all these chickens up by my house running around. Not one has dropped a golden egg yet. And, you know, I say if you believe it, then it is. But I don't think it's going to really drop it. So this is that idea of money that I had to learn. And I thought, oh, what's the golden? So what happens is that little egg drops and you pick it up and you go, wow, gold, right? So today I've got a gold egg. That's an idea. Today we all woke up, we had a gold egg. You want to know what it is? Breathing. Ooh. Now, if that ain't worth something, I don't know what is. We have a gold egg here. Then the next day, there was another gold egg. Then the next day, there was another gold egg, and him and his wife got together and said, you know, there's a lot of gold eggs in there. Maybe we should, I don't know, we eat it, we might as well cut it open and find out, get all those gold eggs. Do you think that worked? No. At least in that story. So they try to teach, the teaching to the kids is greed. That's not my teaching. My teaching is every day we have a gold egg, an idea that can serve me, can serve each and every one of us. And so we take a moment right here, realizing that we are that gold egg, And whatever is going on with those sirens, whatever they're rushing to and rushing from, that everyone is in their exact right place, the perfect alignment, the perfect alignment. You know what's nice about that moment? That we took it. We took a moment to say, what's going on with our brothers and sisters out there? And we may never know, but guess what? Yeah. So today, do we talk about money? This is what I say about money. Money is a wonderful, wonderful thing. As I head towards the finish line here, I realized something about money. Maybe none of you know this, but we were talking about how wonderful Sundays are, but you know, what does the minister do with the other 6 days? Because really that's all that people usually think. Because I said, I'm a minister, and my neighbor's like, wow, so what do you do like Monday through Saturday? I said, well, we run actually a center down here. And so we started, Rita and I started looking. I said, Rita, I got a news flash for you. You know what we do 7 days a week? We fundraise. We're fundraisers. I went, wait a minute, that doesn't sound as romantic as Reverend Dr. Patrick Feren, but we are. So I don't have any business not respecting and loving this thing called currency. This thing called currency that we do, because we are, just so everyone, we are a facility that doesn't have the government coming in and saying, here's an extra check for you. So I want to love it. I had a colleague of mine, she walked up, not even a colleague, this is Mary Mann Morrissey, we all know that wonderful woman, it's been forever. She said, she walked out on stage, she took all this money, and she started kissing it. And she was going, ooh, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And she took a lot of flack for that. And she was saying, if I can't love it, if I can't love the idea of currency, it had nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the ideas. How are we going to take our ideas? I mean, when we arrived here, we were laughed at on the island. Not loud enough that you could hear it here, but we were laughed at. They got no money, they're starting a thing. Let me tell you, and then we'll end with that. And then I'm going to sing a song for you. I'm kidding. Okay. We are sitting right now, and I'm standing on this message today called The Idea. We are sitting in a golden idea. It was just an idea of these two people that lived in Hollywood and said, we're ready to do it. As we've all done. When we make decisions, hard or not, we're all making, and they're golden if we let them be golden. And so when I look around, I go, wow, we're sitting here on a golden idea. And we can take that anywhere that we want. Isn't that a great feeling? To know that, to know that. Okay, I'll end with a wonderful, wonderful song called Money, 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 Money. No, I'm just kidding. If you really want to know about it, it's called alignment. If you really want to know, thank you, Tanner. I didn't even mean to do that. If you really want to know about abundance, it's called alignment. If I sit there and I judge anything to do with money, I know I'm not in alignment. This person said to me, I don't like money. And my mentor said to him, and money doesn't like you. What? Cause and effect, baby, cause and effect. Okay, so this is by Sandy. I thought I'd bring Sandy Gallagher, if you guys know who she is. Proctor's assistant, Proctor and Gallagher. But she didn't get a lot of it because we're always with him, looking at him, right? So here she says this, and we'll leave you with this. You were born rich, and your abundance is contained in your thoughts. So be good to yourself by thinking good thoughts. building magnificent ideas, and never permitting your physical world to control your thinking, which controls what? Your attitude, which controls your outcome, which controls the demonstration. And I love that. Be good to yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. And we can do and be anything with that idea. Namaste.